Hi guys, it's Alyssa Mercante from Kotaku, and I'm here with Alexei Pajitnov and Hank Rogers, who you guys probably know if you know video games. The opening monologue describes Tetris as addictive and something that you can't stop thinking about even when you're not playing it. Is that kind of how you think a good video game is?
It's like a song, you hear when you hear a song that you like, you hear it in your mind. What's wrong with that?
So when you had to deal with this rights securing this whole big thing in order to get Tetris outside of what was at the time the Soviet Union, how realistic was that portrayed in the movie? Because there's obviously chases and fun stuff and exciting things.
Oh, it was. I was definitely breaking the law, And when I went through that door, so I didn't come all this way to stand in front of the door and go back and get a visa. I actually went through that door, and that was actually what the hell's gonna happen to me now? And then being in the lobby, just waiting for somebody to talk to me, and the guy staring at me, waiting to give my credentials. Of course, I didn't have any credentials, so I just stood there, and yeah, it was an adventure. Yeah. Crazy adventure.
Yeah, and at the same time, when he just supposed that something wrong could happen with him, I knew for sure.
Yeah, you were something bad could happen.
He knew that he was breaking the law. I kind of felt, I didn't know what the laws were, but he knew what the law.
And you didn't tell him.
It was a perestroika time, glasnost time. We really have some very good hope at that time.
I mean, you're here. Tetris is Tetris.
There you go.
It was worth it.
It was definitely worth it.
No, I mean, and now there's so many different iterations. There's Tetris 99, and people play Tetris competitively, and I wonder if you see all those different versions of it.
Yeah, we keep track of all of them. That's our job. So what's your favorite version?
I like 99. I mean, I like the original. I like the original as well, but I just didn't have as much ease of access to it. I didn't have Nintendo systems in my house until I was older. My parents didn't want me to play video games.
I really enjoy 99.
You do?
Oh yes, that's probably now one of the.
We have some people on our team who are very into Tetris 99, so they'll be happy to know that you like it. It's not just them fighting for it all the time. And obviously you also famously made the Black Onyx.
Oh.
Yeah, which is something that several people on our team brought up immediately when they heard you were going to be here.
Oh. Yeah.
So I'm just curious, that was it shook up the computer game market at the time.
In Japan.
Yes, in Japan.
In Japan, to be clear. So, I majored in computer science and I minored in Dungeons and Dragons when I was at the University of Hawaii. We had a club called ARG, Alternative Recreational Realities Group of Hawaii. And 6 years later, I was living in Japan, and personal computers came out. I thought, oh, I can make a game. I went to Akihabara, looked at what the games are, and conspicuously missing were role-playing games. And, I knew nothing about how tiny this computer actually was. It's an 8-bit computer with 64K of memory. And I made a role-playing game for this machine. And it had graphics, it had story, it had the 3D that you could walk through, 30 monsters, et cetera, et cetera. And today, it seems like that was another crazy thing that I did. I was planning to make this kind of a game and I could actually only fit this much. And then knowing what to throw out is really the hard part if you're squeezing into 64K. But it was the #1 game in 1984 and got me a publishing company. So there you go. And having a publishing company eventually led me to travel around the world looking for games. And the Consumer Electronics Show, I found Tetris.
It all comes together.
There you go.
Coming from my background of knowing about video games and acquisitions and rights and all this stuff, this is such a fantastic and fascinating story for kind of seeing it in modern times in gaming, because there's so many big business things that happen that are just, I know that there's intrigue going on. We don't know what's going on in the background, but there's stuff like, the massive Microsoft acquisition of Activision, that's 60-something billion dollars. I wonder how you look at something like that and go, man, back in the day, I was breaking the law, going to other countries just to get this game in people's hands.
It's a progression, and my understanding is that the game business has surpassed the movie business. So I'm going oh yeah, we're kicking butt, as a genre or as a entertainment form.
Yeah.
And it's not going to go back, because interactive stuff has got to be better than sitting there couch potato stuff. at the end of the day. You get to do something.
That was my main drive into the game industry.
Do you think people, because I feel like this is a movie, my parents are not gamers, but this is a movie that my parents would definitely love. I can tell, I've seen a lot of movies with them. Do you think this is something that people will turn around and go, man, I want to try Tetris again?
Barnum said there's a sucker born every day. There's a Tetris player, potential Tetris player born every day. My son played Tetris when he was 3 years old, for Christ's sakes.
Wow.
So I think it's a very good thing for the mind to be able to do that kind of stuff when you're young. So parents, please don't tell your kids don't play games. It's, setting them up for a future that, if you go back in the 1800s, you were preparing for a lifetime of physical labor.
Yeah.
And so you did sports. And now we are preparing our children for a lifetime of mental labor. And so they need to play video games.
I have some doubts about this increasing of the game popularity after movie. But when I saw the reaction of audience, all my doubts are gone because people really love it.
It was such a noisy crowd at South by Southwest.
Oh yeah, they get rowdy there
And
too.
it was amazing. It felt like I just won an Oscar or something.
That's so lovely.
Yeah, it was great.
Well, I'm glad to hear that you guys are enjoying all of this, and I can't wait for other people to see it, including my parents, because then maybe they'll finally understand what I do for a living.
Is that what you do?
Yeah. Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome.